Hello everyone. So in the previous class we discussed about the sedimentation followed by the clarifloculation, then the types of coagulants and its uses with suitability, and also about optimum dosage of coagulant using jar test apparatus, and about construction and working of the clariflocculator. Okay, the next part in this module is about filtration. That is, in a sequence of water treatment plant we have different unit processes. That is, in module 2 we have studied the working of different units in a flow diagram. Okay, if you just quickly recall it, so first we have the intake structures, okay, so through which the water is extracted. Then we have screening, then we have sedimentation, then coagulation and flocculation, then comes this filtration. Okay, so we'll study what is meant by filtration and what are different types of filters available in the treatment of water. Okay, see, filtration is done after the sedimentation process. Okay, so as you know, in sedimentation and all, we might have removed some bigger solids, okay, so which could easily settle with the help of gravity. So whereas water may contain some impurities, so which are very finely suspended, and also some of the bacteria. To reduce the remaining impurities, then we have to pass the water through the beds of the filter material. Okay, the filter material may be usually sand and gravel material, but however nowadays, so some synthetic materials are also used as the filter media. Okay, so filtration accordingly is the process of passing the water through the beds of such granular material is called as filtration. Okay, in modern water treatment plants, filtration is often a polishing process to remove small flocks and bacteria that are not removed in the previous treatment units. Like I was telling in the beginning, we have the different unit processes, that is screening, sedimentation, clarifloculation, and to remove the solids which occur in the sedimentation and also in the clarifloculation, the water has to be passed through the beds of the filter. So that is what the meaning of this sentence. Okay, and also under certain conditions filtration serves as primary turbidity removal method, because turbidity is usually caused by colloidal solids and suspended solids, and the filtration removes most of the turbidity. And pathogens cannot be completely relieved upon. That means it doesn't remove all the bacteria, so hence followed by filtration, disinfection is necessary. Okay, and there are two types of filtration process, that is called as pre-coat filtration and granular medium filtration. So before understanding the mechanism and theory of filtration and the filtration process in detail, we should know what is the actually mechanism of filtration. The filtration happens in 4 different ways, which is listed here. First one is mechanical straining, second one sedimentation, third one biological metabolism, and fourth one electrolytic action. Let us see one by one. So what is the mechanism through which the filtration takes place in the treatment of water? First one is mechanical straining. Okay, see, straining is nothing but the filtration of water through the straining mechanism. Okay, so it is similar to the process of extracting tea. Like you might have observed, when a person prepares tea, so he puts the tea powder, sugar, milk and water and he boils. Then he uses a strainer to filter the tea powder and other impurities present in the tea when it boils. Okay, so when you use the strainer will strain all the solids present in the tea and you will get a clear cup of tea when you strain. Similarly, in the treatment of water, the particles which are unable to pass through the spaces of the sand particles, which acts as a straining material, those particles get strained, they get arrested in the sand. That process is that mechanism we call it as mechanical straining. Okay, so that is, most of the suspended particles are removed from the upper layer of the sand itself. Okay, that is, since the sand has some gradation, most of the fine particles get entrapped in the upper layer of the sand for up to few centimeters in a filter. Okay, then sedimentation. In mechanical straining, only those particles which are coarser than the void size are arrested. Finer particles get arrested by sedimentation action between the voids. I think you understood what is the meaning of this sentence. That means the small particles which are coarser than void size, so they will be arrested in the straining mechanism. So next, what happens in between the sand particles? So there will be a small size space, that is void space present between the finer particles, and that void space will act as a sedimentation area. So in that area, these sand particles are arrested and it gets settled. Okay, so that is called as sedimentation mechanism. Okay, they do pass through voids but later cannot escape en route and pass through voids and remain settled amidst sand particle. So the second sentence says that, so there could be number of voids in the sands when it is placed in a bed of a filter. So if it escapes from the top layer, then again somewhere it has to get caught when the water passes through the layer of the sand. Okay, and that is the sedimentation mechanism in the theory of filtration. Next comes this biological metabolism. Here, most of this biological metabolism can be usually observed in the slow sand filters. Okay, so I'll tell you in detail about when we classify the filters, that is what is slow sand and rapid sand filters. So as of now, let us concentrate on biological metabolism. So what is biological metabolism means? When the water starts to slowly percolate on the bed of the filter, there could be the development of a dirty skin. It is called as Sumutsdeck. Okay, a dirty skin layer is formed on the layer of the soil, and these organisms act on the impurities, that is mostly organic, and they will take it as food, that is they use it for their metabolism and they break it down. Okay, and that is how some of the organic impurities get treated by the filters, and that mechanism we call it as biological metabolism. Okay, and as the water through the layer of the dirty skin, it gets treated. That means the microbes and other organisms which are present in the dirty skin layer will break down the organic impurities present in the incoming water, thereby reducing them. Okay, when thickness of the dirty skin increases, it creates a problem called mud balls. That means this dirty skin layer has to be removed by frequent backwashing of the filter. Otherwise, so if the layer grows, then it will create a problems in the filter, that is called as formation of the mud balls. We will see what is that in the detail when we discuss about problems in the filters. Okay, so this mechanism, third mechanism, is called as a biological metabolism. That is the formation of the dirty skin layer on the layer of the soil, which will act on the organic impurities specifically and breaks down and treats the water. Then fourth one is the electrolytic action. Okay, so like I told you in the beginning that while we discussed about the characteristics of water, so there could be many number of impurities in the water, which includes total solids, suspended solids, colloidal solids, then charged particles, many other such impurities. So here electrolytic action, it deals with the impurities having the charged particles. Okay, sand particles and impurities carry the opposite charges, hence the neutralization takes place upon the attraction. Because of the neutralization process, the impurities are removed. Okay, and when the sand loses all the charges, it has to be renewed by cleaning. That is, after some cycles of operation, when the sand loses all the charges, that is, it loses charge when upon its continuous usage, then we have to replace the sand by cleaning. Okay, so these are the four different mechanisms of filtration. Okay, if we quickly recall, first one is mechanical straining, sedimentation, then biological metabolism and electrolytic action. Okay, so now let us see what are different types of the filter used in the treatment of water. Okay, the first one is called as slow sand filter. As the name itself suggests, here the rate of filtration is very low, and usually these filters require very large areas in the water treatment plant, and also it consumes more time. So because of that, nowadays it is obsolete and usually not used in the modern water treatment plants. It came into existence somewhere in the 1800s. So the second type is rapid sand filter. Okay, as the name itself says, the rate of filtration is more. Rate of filtration means the quantity of the water filtered per unit time is called as rate of filtration, and this came into existence in somewhere in 1900s, that is in the year 1910. Then third one is pressure filters. As the name itself suggests, it works under pressure, and due to its arrangement, it can be a horizontal type or vertical type. It is mostly used for the industrial purposes and large institutions and swimming pools. Whereas these rapid sand filters and slow sand filters are usually used for the community water treatment plants. And apart from the above filters, nowadays there are certain modern types of water filters, so which uses different technologies like reverse osmosis, membrane filtration, nanofiltration, microfiltration and ultrafiltration. So we'll see about the difference between all these things in the coming classes. Okay, so as of now, I hope you know what is meant by the mechanism of filtration, theory of filtration and different types of the filters available. Okay, so coming to the filter media. So in a filter, the filter media is a very important parameter which is to be carefully considered and designed before you put the filtration into operation. So let us see what should be the good characteristics of a filter media. So here, like I was telling, the filter media is usually the granular material and sand for most of the filters. But nowadays the sand and other granular material is also replaced by some synthetic material to increase the area of cross section and also to increase the efficiency issues. Okay, but nevertheless the properties of the good filter media should be as follows. That is, first one, it should be free from clay, loam, vegetable matter and organic impurities. That means whatever the sand you are selecting, it should not contain much of clay, organic matter and loam. Then it should be uniform in nature and size. That is, it is having certain specific characteristics and only that sand should be chosen as a filter medium. Okay, then it should be resistant and hard. That means it should not easily disintegrate or degrade when you pass the water with some pressure. using this filter media. Okay, and the source of the sand which you are using as a filter media should be from the source of the basaltite or quartz mineral, so that it will be little harder. And also, when you keep this sand in HCl for 24 hours, it should not lose more than 5% of its weight. Okay, so only the sand which is having all these properties should be used as a filter medium. Okay, so then below the sand we have the gravel bed. Okay, so this gravel bed will act as a supporting media for the sand, that is, sand layer will be above and this gravel bed layer will be below. And in some cases we also do the gradation, that means the finer material will be at top and the coarser material will be at the bottom, depending upon the design of the filter. Okay, and this gravel material will again allow the filtered water to move freely to the under drains. So under drainage system is nothing but the drainage system which is provided at the bottom of the filter after passing the water through the layer of sand and gravel material. This under drainage system will collect the filtered water and direct the water to the next subsequent treatment unit. That system we call it as under drainage system. Okay, so this under drainage system will consist of the voids or small openings of small diameter pipes through which the filtered water is taken out. Okay, then let's talk about the slow sand filter. Okay, like I told you, it was started in the year 1829 for the first time because of the simple operation and maintenance. See, it consists of a different parts, and let us see one by one. So first one is enclosure tank. Okay, so this enclosure tank is usually will be rectangular in shape and open to atmosphere. That means it can be constructed above the ground, and it should be watertight basin, usually constructed with the help of masonry or cement concrete with appropriate waterproofing. The ideal depth should be 2.5 to 3.5 meters and unit surface area of 100 to 2000 meters square. That means the bed of the sand filter area, it varies between 100 to 2000 meters square depending upon the treatment plant capacity of the water treatment plant, and the bed slope will be 1 in 100 towards the central range. Okay, and also it may vary in up to 1 in 200. Okay, so this is for obvious reason that the treated water should easily flow to the central main drain after the filtration process. Okay, then the filter media, here the sand layer in the top layer will be in the range of 90 to 100 centimeter in depth. Like I was telling you, the uniformity coefficient, that means the sand should have the uniformity coefficient of 2 to 3. Only that sand should be used as a filter media, and the effective size of the sand should be in the order of 0.2 to 0.3 mm. Okay, that should be the characteristics of the filter media. Then base material, the total depth of the filter will ranges from 30 to 75 centimeter. The 15 centimeter layer should consist of 2 to 6 mm of topmost layer. Then next 15 centimeter layer may contain 6 to 20 mm. Next 15 centimeter of layer may consist of 20 to 40 mm layer. Then next 15 centimeter may contain 40 to 65 mm, and that will be the bottommost layer of the sand. Both sand and gravel should be free from the silt, organic matter, dust, clay, etc. Okay, so these are the characteristics of this base material. Okay, that means on the top layer we will be having sand, and as you move downwards there could be gradation, and you will have the coarser material at the bottom, so that water can easily flow from the sand through this bottom base material. Okay, so under drainage system, I was telling that the function of this under drainage system is to collect the filtered water and convey it to the subsequent unit. Okay, it consists of the lateral perforated drains plates at a distance of 2.5 to 3.5 meter, and it collects the treated water from the filters. Then it also contains some adjustable telescopic tubes, vertical air pipe through air layer of sand, flow meters and head loss gauges. These flow meters and all are used to monitor the treatment plants. Okay, and this helps in the loss in head and also gives hints for backwashing process. Okay, see, this is the section of a slow sand filter. Okay, so it consists of an inlet chamber here through which the water is let inside, and the water is allowed to stand over a bed of the sand filter. Okay, and this is the layer of the sand, and below this you have the gravel layer, and this is called as under drainage system. That is the perforated pipes placed at an interval of 2.5 to 3 meter below the layer of the gravel. Okay, and this is the telescopic pipe. Okay, and this is the float, and this is the constant head, and this is the head losses gauges and all the pressure gauges which can be used to read the head losses. Okay, and this is the simple process wherein the water enters into the system and water is allowed to stand on this medium for some amount of time, and the water gets filtered, and the filter water is taken out through this under drainage system and it is sent to the next treatment unit. Okay, so that is usually disinfection process. Okay, see, this is the working of slow sand filter. That means when the water enters this inlet chamber, then it slowly descends to the filter chamber, that is sand plus gravel. Then the further water moves through the lateral drains to the main drain. That means with the help of number of under drainage pipes, the water will enter to the central main drain through which the water is taken to the next level of the treatment. Okay, the rate of filtration of this slow sand filter is in the order of 100 to 200 liters per hour per square meter of the filter bed area. That means relatively it is lower. Okay, so that is why it is called as slow sand filter, because the rate of filtration is low. And it, like I was telling in the earlier slides, there will be a formation of the dirty layer on the layer of the sand, that is usually called as Schmutzdecke. Okay, so it develops on the layer of the soil and it becomes the living area for many number of microorganisms, and those microorganisms, they break down the organic matter present in the water, converting it to the water and simple carbon dioxide and other dioxide. That means it disintegrates the organic matter which is present in the water, this dirty skin layer. It is called as Schmutzdecke. Okay, and this usually it gets formed in the slow sand filter because the rate of filtration is very low. Okay, and it is a predominant feature of this slow sand filter. Okay, and most of the impurities including bacteria and viruses are removed from the raw water as it passes through the filter skin and the layer of filter bed sand just below the layer of this dirty skin. Okay, and when the microorganisms become well established, the filter will work efficiently and it really produces the very high quality of effluent which is virtually free of disease carrying organisms or pathogens and other biodegradable matter, but still the disinfection is a must. But relatively, in comparison with rapid sand filter, the slow sand filter will have a very good efficiency with respect to the effluent quality. Then performance of the slow sand filter. So it reduces turbidity up to 50 ppm and it removes only 20 to 25% of the color. That is, it is less efficient in removing the color, but it removes up to 98 to 99% of the bacteria. But as I told, disinfection is still given in order to have the maximum safety from the pathogens. Then coming to cleaning of source and filters, the cleaning process is usually done once in a month or for in between 20 to 30 days. See what happens when the filter is constantly under use, the in initial days of up to 4 to 5 days, the formation of the dirty skin layer starts to appear, okay, and it becomes a stable layer, and the sequence of treatment operation will be very good and it will have very good efficiency. And as the period of increases, then slowly the sand starts to lose the charge, and also it loses its quality, and also the dirty skin layer starts to have more growth, and slowly the head loss is observed, and most of the sand particles gets entrapped with the suspended materials through the continuous filtration process, and at that time the sand should be replaced with a new layer of sand, okay. So hence the in an interval of 1 to 3 months the cleaning is done. That is, the scraping or removing of the top layer of the sand is done. That is, the top layers of around 15 to 25 mm is replaced, and it is cleaned with new filter media, okay. So let us, in case if you don't find the sand in those types of areas, the sand which is removed of 15 to 20 mm 25 mm of the top layer is scraped, it is cleaned, dried, and it is again stored for the future usage. The cleaning may be manual or automatic scraping. That means the cleaning process of the slow sand filter, okay. And it is really a time consuming process. That is, you cannot use this filter unless you have a standby filter for the cleaning purposes. See what is the process of cleaning here during the cleaning operation. So it consists of the two walls, that is wall 1, it is called as inlet wall, and wall 2, it consists of only two walls. That is, one wall to allow the water into the inlet chamber, then second wall is to allow the treated or filtered water, okay. So during the cleaning operation, the wall 1 inlet and outlet wall, this remains closed, okay. So after this, the new or cleaned filter sand is placed back, then the filter bed is refilled with water from the below until the sand is completely covered, okay. So this is done to remove the air which may have entrapped during the cleaning processes, okay. So then afterwards, the valve 1 is slowly opened and the raw water enters till the desired head is reached, and this setup has to remain for 12 hours so that all the sand gets saturated. Then afterwards, slowly the wall 2, that is outlet wall, is opened. So during this stage, the rate of filtration runs at 1.5 of normal filtration stage, and this process continues for next 12 to 15 hours, okay. So this helps in the formation of the dirty skin layer, okay. In the next 3 to 4 days, the filtration rate is operated at 1/3 of normal until dirty skin forms over the sand. Like I told you in the previous slide, that the formation of dirty skin and stabilization of the dirty skin layer has to take place, and it requires minimum of up to 3 to 5 days, okay. So after the normalization until the next cleaning is done, we can sufficiently take the advantages of this slow sand filtration, and the filtration rate becomes normal, okay. So this is how the cleaning of source and filtration is done. Okay, so after the useful life or head losses measurement, so we have to do this process of cleaning. Okay, then in the next class we'll talk about the rapid sand filter.